Hey everybody, this is the Peaceful Warrior here to give you my latest review / rant of Naruto Chapter 600. Coming into this week's chapter, we found out that underneath Tobi's mask was Obito's face. And so half the fan base that had been saying that Tobi was Obito, rejoiced, said eat your crow, now what, etc., etc. The other half of us who had essentially been saying that Tobi was some form of Madara, some form of Zetsu, or a Senju, or an Uzumaki ancestor, were like, let's just wait and see, because we haven't seen any dialogue, we haven't seen any confirmations, so possibly Tobi could simply be using Obito's body, just like Orochimaru has used the bodies of others. So this week's chapter was supposed to put an end to that debate, essentially. Now, when it comes to the chapter itself, you all know how Kishimoto loves to drag things out. He loves to drag things out, which this week of all weeks has made me question the value he places on a committed viewership, because he severely tests the patience of the fan base with chapters like these. And here's what I mean. At the beginning of this chapter, there's something new. There's actual dialogue between Naruto, Guy, Kakashi, and Obito. And pretty much, Guy is telling Naruto he's an Uchiha, he's a leaf ninja, and we thought that he died in the last war. And Guy is also asking Kakashi, like, how in the world is this dude still alive? I thought he died in the last war. And Obito himself turns on his Mangekyo Sharingan, and Kakashi's like, it's no doubt about it, that's Obito Uchiha. And Obito responds and says, well, that name doesn't mean anything to me anymore. And how I, managed to survive doesn't really matter. And then we get this flashback, and this is what I'm talking about. We get this flashback, which is the big fat middle of this chapter, of how Obito died, which is something we already know since we've watched and read Kakashi Gaiden. So there's no new information, nothing new being given for the bulk of this chapter. But then after the flashbacks end, oh, guess what? We finally get back to the chapter now. Kakashi's like, dude, why did you do all of this? Why did you... Obito cuts him off pretty much, and it's like, well, look, if you want... Not that it matters, but if you really want to know, okay, I'll tell you. I did it because you let Rant die. Some bitch. He didn't say that literally, but, I'm putting in my own words. Kakashi gets the face, he's rattled, he's psyched out. Naruto is like Naruto is actually the mature one at this point, and it's because he has no bond with Rant. Because trust me, if this had been something to do with Sasuke, we all know Naruto would have had an even worse demeanor than Kakashi does at this point. But Naruto steps up to the plate, and he's like, look, I want to hear all about the story after we beat this cat. Right now, the whole world is riding on us. We don't got time to sit here and, go on guilt trips. We got business to take care of, so let's do this thing. And Guy's like, yeah, Naruto's right. Kakashi, let's go. And as they're having this little dialogue between themselves, Obito says, listen, I don't care. Just die. And he does this flame style attack using his his own Kamui, I guess. So then Naruto uses the Bijou mode to nullify the attack. And after the attack is nullified, we see another ninja come on the battlefield with an Uchiha crest, and dun 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 dun. It is the Edo-Tensei Madara, which was fighting the 5 Kages. And he's like, oh, so looks like you're having some fun here, Obito. So, vis-a-vis, we now know that Edo-Tensei Madara has a past and a relationship with Obito. And the person who Edo-Tensei Madara will refer to when he said our plan, he was talking about Obito. And so here's where all the feelings about this chapter begin to come into play. Because for me, how in the world you can justify your main villain, your main antagonist, becoming the main antagonist by the death of someone that we as a fan base have absolutely no relationship with, is beyond me. Rin was essentially a footnote in the Naruto series. Essentially. But her death is the motivating factor for all the events of the series itself. So you would think that she would have more of a role so that we can feel the impact of why Obito decided to become Toby. But since we have no connection with her, and she's only a footnote in the series, his motivation for doing all of this is petty and trivial. Because our relationship with Rin is petty and trivial. And that's the thing that is very understated here. Very understated. I mean, you mean to tell me he's going to betray the clan he loves, the village he loves, over a woman who not only do we not know, they weren't even together. They hadn't done anything romantically. She had not even confessed feelings for him. They weren't married. They didn't have kids. They were just friends at the time of their death. Even if Obito did have feelings for her. I mean, so it's like, for who is Rin that her death should cause all of this? Like, seriously. Because she's pretty much the source of all of this. Like, her, I mean, it's petty and it's trivial. Because she's petty and she's trivial. And to me, this echoes a point that I have. Why, oh why, would you put together a plot twist like this as if you were turning in a deadline for this manga an hour before it was due? Because what I truly see in Kishimoto unveiling Toby's identity and unveiling how Obito became Toby is laziness. That's really what I see. I see laziness. Like, let's just make it obvious. Like, how can you have a character who's this charismatic, who's this intertwined, who's this enmeshed, who's this complicated, who's this good, who's this great, who's this manipulative, be Obito? Like, you literally just made him a joke. And that may be why he was wearing the mask in the first place. Because nobody would take him seriously. If they knew that this cat is Obito Uchiha, the nobody, who's doing all of this because of the death of a woman who I don't even know about. he would not have had any support had people known who he truly was. Period. There would be no Akatsuki. Yeah, period. Oh, goodness. And I mean, it's like, how convenient that arguably the most powerful ninja to ever live just happens to come across your body after you had supposedly died, takes you on as an apprentice, teaches you everything he know so that you can just become this awesome super class ninja out of the blue. From a nobody. I mean, just, like, that's like throwing magic into the Naruto universe. Like, that's what lazy plot twists are. It's just like throwing magic into the universe. Oh, you killed me, but I'm not really dead. I'm not really dead. I mean, like, it's that type of BS. It's literally that type. Like, that is genuine BS. Which is why I was telling people, if Toby is really Obito, I don't even care about the explanation. Because it's going to be something that Kishimoto could have literally pulled out of his behind as if he was doing a paper an hour before it was due. Literally. And it frustrates me when, as a committed viewer who's a true fan of Naruto, you do me this great of a disservice by pretty much within 2 chapters bringing down the best character in the series. Congratulations. Well, I hope that you have strong thoughts, and I look forward to hearing them in the comment section. Rate, subscribe, and I'll see you again.